Hello guys, welcome once again. Till now I have been showing you basic but very important concepts of Python. Now from this video we are going to write some code in our Python file, and from this video we are going to write some useful code. And this video I will start from showing you how conditional statement works, and in this video I'm going to specifically take if statement in Python. So let's get started. I have this test.python file which I made. If you don't know how to make this test.python file, you just need to go to file in the shell and just click new file, and then just save your file at your specified location by some name. Okay, and you will be having this type of file. So my Python file name is that test.py. Now the conditional statement which I'm going to take, let's see how if statement works. So for example, I want to find out the absolute value of a number. How can I find out? By using a if statement. So for example, I write a variable which takes an input. So I ask the user to enter an input and I convert it to an integer and be saved in the variable called n. Okay. Now I want to find out the absolute value of that number. So what I can do is I can use if statement. And how you can declare if statement, just write if and then the condition. Okay, so here comes the condition. This is a pseudo code I'm writing, so we are going to replace this condition by a real condition. And then in here, so always remember when you write code in Python, its indentation is really necessary. So if you write any condition, for example, if you give another code, for example, I want to print something, what it will do is this statement sees the indentation. And let me give you an example first, and then I will illustrate the basic concept of indentation. So I want to find out the absolute number, right? So in the condition I can write n if n is less than 0. So this is a condition I'm checking. If user enters the value n which is less than 0, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the value, absolute value. So I'm going to just write the absolute value of, and then I can just use comma to give the value of n, and once again I can use comma to separate this string, and I can write is, and let me make a little bit bigger, is, and then I can just separate it by one other comma, and I can just write minus n if the value is less than 0, right? So let's save this program. Just control S to save the program, and I will run the program, run module or F5, and it says invalid syntax. And why it says invalid syntax here is because in here, after if condition, you need to give colon here. Okay, so this is taken as a condition, and after colon it indicates that this condition ends here, and then the statement starts from here. Once again, save it and run it, and then it will run in this shell, and it's asking the user to enter a number. I will enter a negative number, -3, and press enter, and it gives me the absolute value of minus 3, which is 3. Okay. Now, for example, I enter a positive number. What happens then? Okay, so I will run it once again, and this time I enter plus 10, and now nothing happens because this condition we are checking is less than, or we are checking for the number less than 0. So this will print this. And just remember always that always provide an indentation here. Okay, if you don't provide this small space or tab here, and just write your code here with no space here, and save your program and run it, let's see what happens. So it says expected an indented block, right? So always provide an indentation, and it's show you the place where the error is coming in a red, red highlight. Okay, so always provide, just give a tab before your statement after if condition. Okay, or after any logic which you write. So now this is considered as a statement. Okay, and if you write this if statement or like this, it will consider this line as a different code, and it will not come as a statement of if condition. Okay, now for example, I provide the positive number, and I also want to give the absolute value of this positive number. So what I can do is I can just give else condition, else. So your statements start from with no space here, but so if your condition is if, and then we have the else condition, so your condition starts from no space, but the statement inside your condition starts with the indentation or space here. Just give a tab and it will give you this space. Okay, so once again I want to print out the absolute value of a number. Now I want to check whether number is positive. So if the number is not negative, which is this condition, if number is less than 0, which means number is negative, this will be printed. Else, if the number is positive, because this condition is not true, that means definitely the number is positive, I want to print out the absolute value of this positive number, right? So I will just print it like this. Absolute value of this should be value. N is positive because the absolute value of positive number is positive, right? So now when I save the program and run it, and it says invalid syntax once again. Why? Because I also need to give this colon here, right? Now once again save it and run your program, and it gives me this question mark with a number. I give 10 once again, and it says absolute value of 10 is 10. So this is the basic syntax of if statement. You give if as a keyword for checking the comparison or comparison, and you compare some values. So right now we are comparing our value which user enters from 0, and if it's less than 0 we print this. Else anything else will be covered by this statement. And always remember that your if statement or else statement will have no space here, but your actual code which you write in if statement or else statement will have to have this kind of indentation here. Indentation means space or tab. Okay, and it's not necessary that you can only give one line of code inside your if condition. You can just give multiple lines of code inside your if condition. I will just make it little bit prettier. So it can have multiple line of statement. your if condition or your else condition. This is just an example I'm giving, but this will be some logical code which you have to write here. And in a similar way, you can just give this here, right here, right? So you can have multiple statement in else condition. Now, one more thing to remember here is whenever you want to go outside, so now you want to do some other operation. For example, I want to add two numbers n or some. I will declare a variable called sum of two. For example, this is my variable name, and I add 50 plus 60. Okay, and I want to print it. Print, and then I want just print this sum of these two numbers, right? So if I do it like this, for example, I do it like this, what will happen? Let's see. I save it and run my program, and I give a negative number -9, for example, and it gives me these values, which it execute these values. Okay, but I wanted to print this number also after the my if else condition. So how I can show, or how I can tell Python that my else condition is now closed, or my this if else condition is now over, and I want to print this now. So your next code should start from, once again, with no space. Okay, so this will be considered as a different code, and it will not be included in these conditional statements, right? And now when I save it, I will save it, and then I give -8, for example. Yeah, I need to give -8, and now you see it gives me the absolute value, which execute this code, and then it execute my another code, this code, which I want to execute after my if condition. Okay, so just if you want to end your else statement and you want to write some other code, just start from no space. So indentation is really very important in Python. If you write or give this indentation incorrectly, your Python code will give any error, or some error. Okay, so this is the if else condition in Python. In future, I'm going to show you some more interesting stuff in Python. So stay tuned, and please rate, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.